Sorry, I am not organised at all today, at all. But we'll work with it, one sec. The reason I am not organised at all is because I had a little, what's the word? Trying to think of the right word for it. Mistake, I suppose. Mistake is the right word, but I think I'm thinking of another word. 1 second. I'll tell you about my little mistake in a second. I'll just sort this out properly. It is only going to be a short episode today because I made 2 mistakes today, actually. So when we get a few more people in the chat, I'll talk to you about it. Has everyone been enjoying the weather? It's been great, hasn't it? I mean, it's gone back to being pretty dismal today, but I'm really thankful. If I'm honest, I am pretty thankful because yesterday I was feeling it. I really was. I mean, I loved the weather. It was great. And I've been out in it, and I've been trying to get out in it as much as I can. But yeah, by yesterday I was feeling it. I really was. So I'm glad that today it did rain, and I actually did stand outside when it was raining because I needed to do that. I needed to feel the rain. So yeah, but has everyone been enjoying the weather? I'll just get up. Oh, I'm not organised at all. I've not even got the chat up. 1 second. It is only going to be a short one today, and I will explain why in a second. 1 sec. Oh no. Okay, we've not got any duplicate sound. So that is good. So let's get the old chat up. Is it going to load? It doesn't seem to be loading. Oh, right, there we go. There we go. So we've got Neil in there. Dr. Doodle Doo. Oh, I said that right today. Carp Fishing, Dave. Crap in the Attic. Again, great username. Chris is in there. So the usual crowd. Yeah, so, oh, wait 1 second. Right, so my mistake today. I went up to the charity shop as I normally do before Thursday talks. I usually time it so I get gone from here about 11:45, 12 o'clock, go to the post office, and then walk along the road, go to the Syrian charity shop, and then go across the road to Bernardo's, and then I come back. And basically, I went to one of the charity shops. I didn't buy anything, and then I went to another one, and I didn't realise when I came out the house, because obviously I do drop and go. Is it click and drop? So I don't need any money with me, right? Now, normally I've got my wallet in my pocket. I have my wallet in my pocket all the time. And I went down to the post, did the post. Next charity shop along, didn't get anything, and then I go to the other charity shop. Now I did find something in that one, and you know what I'm gonna say next. I went to the till to pay, all that sort of stuff, reached in my pocket, and I freaked out because I thought, whoa, something's missing in here. And I thought, oh no, I've left my wallet at home, and I never do that. And when I was taking my trousers off last night or something, it must have come out of my trousers. I don't even know. I don't know how it's done that, but yeah, I was really annoyed, but I did find it on the floor of my bedroom there, so must have done that. That must have how it happened. So must have been how it happened. So yeah, I then had to come back here, get my wallet. I prepped half of my lunch. I cut up my salad because I've been having a lot of salad because it's been hot weather. Cut up my salad. Didn't turn the oven on because I didn't want to do that and go out of the house. I mean, it'd be fine. It would be completely fine to turn the oven on and go out of the house for 5-10 minutes. But I just don't do it. So I don't know where that comes from. Maybe my grandparents, maybe my mum. I don't know. But I just don't do that. Don't know whether any of you guys do it. But yeah, I don't do it. Anyway, so then I went back to there, paid for my stuff. They kept it back for me, and came back here and grabbed my lunch. And obviously by this time I'm running late for Thursday talk. So, and you know me, I don't like to be late. I really don't. Most weeks I'm 20 past 1. So anyway, enough of that rambling. I know that's just pointless rambling, but yeah. So that's kind of what happened today. Also, I made another mistake because I'm meant to be doing a little bit of, well, I say DIY. It's not really DIY. I just like to call it that because it makes me feel manly. But really, all I'm doing is putting a workbench up and I'm putting my new photography lights in place and up properly. And I've got to, I got a workbench last week. I ordered one last week, and I ended up putting that out wrong. So, and it was like the easiest instructions ever to follow, and I got it wrong. So now what I've got to do is take that one down as well. So Ryan's actually going to come round and help me. Well, I need to go around his first, but that's the other mistake, and that's the reason that Thursday talks won't be as long today. Because obviously I said to him, oh, we'll do that about 1:30, and I completely forgot about Thursday talk. So yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention as a little general update is the reason I've not really been doing videos the last week. Partly it's the weather. To be honest, you know, I've been enjoying the weather. I've still been doing work, but I've not been like doing loads and loads of work. Although yesterday I did do an auction online and I got a ton of stuff. So even though I've not really, it doesn't feel like I've really been doing work. I kind of have been doing work. I've been sourcing, I've been listing, but I've just sort of it's been quite nice because I've really seen the flexibility of reselling this week. Like I've actually fit in my reselling around my social life and around yeah, and around basically the day, rather than my reselling controlling the day. I've kind of done it this week so that then the other side of my life controls my day, you know, my personal life. And yeah, I didn't think it would be possible to do that. And the way you can't do that is you sort of slow down. You know, you can't really, unless you're working into the early hours of the morning, you can't get all your work done that you need to do and be social, or unless you were doing all your work in the day and then staying up till early hours to be social. But so I was a bit of a slowdown this week, and I sacrificed my reselling a little tiny bit just to get a bit of social time in, but I thought it was needed because of you know, the sun being out. You know, Daniel will be back from uni tomorrow for a day, so that's going to be good. And I've just been seeing my mates and stuff as well. So yeah, it's been good, and it's been nice to take a little bit of a backseat from it. And obviously at the same time, my YouTube took a little bit of a backseat. So yeah, anyway, I will have a haul video from the auction, but I've not got the car till till Saturday, but I'm actually going to pick it up on Monday. So yeah, I'll do a haul video next week for that. But I got some good stuff yesterday. It was good. Now, funny thing was actually at the auction was so here's in the chat. Funny thing was from the auction actually was I didn't really see a lot. I didn't see a ton of stuff, like a ton of potential. But then when the auction was rolling on and you know, lots were passing by and stuff, I ended up actually bidding on more lots that I didn't think I would bid on than the ones that I had wrote down, which was really odd. But some things were going for really cheap. I got a nice, I won't divulge too much, but I will give you a bit of an insight. So then it's a bit of, you know, an insight into what I've been buying other than the haul video. But yeah, I mean, I bought this big lot of silver plate because that was going for like 8 or 9 quid. So I thought, yeah, well, I'll have, yeah, impulse bidding. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, Neil says there. But yeah, there was yeah, big lot of silver plate. I think it was like a big, oh, it described it on the actual you know, on the description, but I couldn't tell you what it was now without looking at the picture. But it was like a sort of like a serving platter or something, like I don't know. It was something like that, but it looked cool. Couple of pairs of candlesticks, silver plate candlesticks in there, loaded with little bits and bobs. A couple of not very amazing hit flasks, but you know, they were in there, and then a few other little bits and bobs. But I thought for 9 quid I'm having it. So 8 or 9 quid it was. I think it was 9 quid. But yeah, I don't know. But I got 2. These were nice. 2 ammunition boxes. Don't know whether they have like tons of age, but we certainly have a bit of age. One was metal, quite big, you know, quite a big one, and then one was wood, which was a little bit smaller. The one with wood had some writing on the side of it. The one with metal, I don't know whether it had writing on or not. It might have done at the back. But yeah, I was thinking I bet they're decent money, you know, them ammunition boxes. I bet I could get like 30 quid or something for one of them. I didn't know. You know, to be quite honest, I don't know. I still don't know. I still don't know. But I was thinking, you know what? If I get them for like either between £5 and £10 a box, I think I'm still all right. I think there's some profit in it. So, and if there's not a lot of profit in it, then I'll sell them on and I'll learn something. So I thought to myself, yeah, you know, I'll bid up to like 15 to 20 quid. But we ended up going for 10 quid. So I thought, yeah, I'll have them for 10 quid. So I'll show you them anyway. But they were nice. And I thought, yeah, I'll buy them. There was a boxed as new Bosch. There you go. I get 30 to £40 on ammo boxes, depending on age. If they have World War II dates on them, then there will be good money. So yeah, I wasn't too bad there. That was fairly good instinct. Yeah. So what else was I gonna say? There was this Bosch boxed as new, hi Carla, boxed as new circular saw. And I saw on eBay like unboxed, we were going for like 20, 30 quid, that sort of range, maybe get a little bit more. But I was thinking, oh, boxed as new, I could get like 50, 60 quid for that, maybe even more. I was just guessing, really. But it ended up going for 30 quid. I did have a bid on it, but I just don't think it was worth it, particularly at that price. It may have been. Maybe I could have got 100 quid for it. I honestly don't know, but I would have been speculating, and at 30 quid, I don't know. I would, if I knew, if I had seen a sold listing, boxed as new circular saw, and it had gone for 80, 90 quid, yeah, I would have put the 30 quid down, but you know, I didn't want to. So I did have a bid on it, but it did go too high. I got I had a bid on the auction house. This auction house like does shelves of stuff. So you know, like some auction houses do like mixed box lots. Mixed box. Oh, that's hard to say. You know, like when they do like 2 boxes of miscellaneous stuff and things like that. So basically, this auction house does. They do the boxes of stuff as well, but they actually take it one step further than that, and they do miscellaneous shelves of stuff. Now, this wasn't a massive shelf of stuff. I've actually seen from this auction house, like, you can get crazy amount of volume of stuff, but the problem with that is most of it's low quality, and you end up having to chuck half of it out anyway, and then make your money on the other stuff, which I suppose is fine, but I'd rather go for I do want to see myself going for more quality over quantity in most circumstances. But yeah, I got the I had to have a bid on this because this was like 8 quid again, 8, 9 quid, and it was like a shelf of stuff. I saw a ukulele in there. I saw like one of them like mantle clocks in there. I saw a companion set on there, and I thought for 8 quid, you know, I'm gonna go for that. And there was like books on there. I think there was a board game of some description on there, an old vintage one, like, you know, loads of other little random bits and bobs. There was a mirror on there, nothing spectacular or anything, I don't think, unless I do some research. But yeah, I mean, loads of different stuff on there. So I thought, yeah, I'll have a bid on that one. And again, that was an impulse bid. I think most of my bids are impulse bids, and that is quite scary in a way. But I kind of know that the thing is, like, if you're buying the job lots and things like that, you kind of know if you get them for a decent price, you're going to make money on them. Well, oh, this was nice. For a £5, it was I'm basically telling you the haul video here. So when I do the haul video, I'll just quickly show it you. But right, for a £5 plus commission, a massive, I think it was the number on it was 3905 in terms of what the actual truck was called. So it was a Tonka cement mixer, and I think it's called 3905. Now they've gone for all over the place. One version is pretty desirable, and I think I'll get like, if this version is the one I'm thinking, I could get about 60, 70 quid, well, between like 50 to 70, I'm hoping. But if it's not the one, then, which I'm like that on, I don't know whether it is or not. It looks similar, but there's another one that it also looks similar to that only goes for about 25 to 30. But I thought to myself, well, if, you know, at 5 quid, even if it's the one that goes 25 to 30, gonna be a bit of a challenge to pack because it's a fairly big item. It might take a bit of time, but you know, I thought I'm still in profit there. So I had it been on it for a £5. I couldn't believe I got it for that. I was expecting to go a little bit higher than that. And it might be the 50 to 70 quid one, and it was just that no one realised that or no one was interested in it. So I don't know, but that could be good. And there was a few other bits and bobs. I think a couple of other lots I got. I think a big lot of fishing stuff. I'm gonna have to get my granddad's help on that because obviously he's been fishing for years and years and years, so he'll know about that. Basically, what was the brand name of the jacket? I forgot the brand name of the jacket in there. It wasn't Orvis, but it was quite a high-end jacket. And I actually saw a very similar one go for about 70, 80 quid. And I paid £30 for this big box with a load of reels in, the jacket itself, you know, fish, like other little fishing bits and bobs. I don't know, to be honest. I wouldn't say it was like a full-on punt because it wasn't. It was like an educated one. That wasn't one of the lots I was looking at, but I did look at it. Or was it? No, that might have been one of the lots I was looking at. Yeah, it was one of the lots I was looking at, but I didn't like do loads of research into it. I looked at the jacket and I looked at a couple of other bits, but I didn't do enough research into it. But I knew that because that jacket was good money, that would pay for the lot, even if I did get bid up to 20, 30 quid, which was, I was kind of expecting that because it's the fishing stuff and it's quite popular in the auctions I've been to, it seems. So yeah, I paid 30 quid plus commission for that. I don't know what that'll be, including commission, maybe 35 quid, something like that. But certainly there'll be some good money in that, and I need to actually talk to my granddad and maybe even take it round to his, and he'll tell me sort of what I've got and help me out with it. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, and I like buying different things because it's so exciting when you're learning. So you know, each week for weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months, hopefully you will see. I'll just, you know, every week I might buy one lot or two lots that may be a bit different than the vintage toys or the metalware and the studio pottery, because they're like my three ones that I really like. I like vintage toys, studio pottery, I like the metalware. I can see me in those niches, but I also want to branch off a little bit more than that, because by the time I'm 60, I know I can't know everything, but by the time I'm 60, I do want to have a good varied knowledge on a lot of stuff. And the way I get there is by just every week branching out a little bit and just experimenting a bit. So so yeah, I got those. What else? There was a couple of a bid on 4 hip flasks. Now, this was an impulse bid again, and there was a couple of items in this auction that I didn't impulse bid on, by the way. I'm not a madman, but I am pretty risky. But I seem to land on my feet a lot of the time, so it's kind of okay. And I do take educated guesses. It's not like it's a complete impulse bid, but this definitely was an impulse bid. I didn't even see this lot. I ran into here when it was coming on. He'd literally just about to put the hammer down. I saw what it was, saw the price, and just clicked the mouse, and I managed to sort of snipe it, I suppose. But obviously not an eBay snipe. But yeah, I sort of sniped it, and it was 4, you know, whiskey hip flasks. And I don't know, maybe that one, I was a bit quick with that one. I was a bit hasty. I think I got it for 6 quid plus commission. I mean, I thought it's like 150 each, you know, maybe 175, £2 each with commission. And I thought, you know what, there's got to be something in it for that. But I don't know. I'll show it you. Maybe there will be, maybe there won't be. I think there will be for that. But yeah, that was like a proper impulse one. And there was, as I say, a couple of other lots. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Trying to think. Oh, actually, do I still? Oh no, I don't still have it up. I kept the tab open yesterday, so I thought I might still have it up, but I don't. Right, let's check in the chat, and then I'll have to get off, unfortunately, because yeah, I'll have to go around mines. Treasure Pirate, hi there. Hey there, just making every listing mobile friendly. Horrible task. Oh God. Do we have to do that? Is that something we have to do? I've not done that. You're making me scared now. I list on my mobile anyway, so does that make it mobile friendly? Is it only those with Optiva or something? I don't know. I hope we don't have to do that. Doing it yourself, lifestyle. Oh, nice. I'm listing at the moment. Done packing. No sourcing for a few days. Temp is perfect now. Oh, it's lovely today. I mean, it is a bit dismal, but the temperature is very welcomed because it has been hot. I noticed more sales the last couple of days when I did the amends. Does not apply herself. They had a point to it. I distinctly remember my school report saying, does not apply herself. They had a point, to be fair, Carla says. Yeah, that's very funny you should mention that, actually, because I was thinking about as resellers, and I always think about this personality and how you are in school. Like, you see there's different personality types in school, and I often wonder who grows up to be what, and whether they're completely suited to the career they choose. Like, for example, their personality is completely suited to the career they choose. Like for me, I think there's parts of my personality that don't actually suit reselling, and then there's parts that do. So, it might not be like the perfect 100% match for me in terms of my personality, but I don't know what I'm trying to say, but if I did something else that I might be really, 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 really matched up with, like my personality really matches up with, I don't know whether I'd enjoy it as much. I kind of like the fact that some parts of my personality aren't a perfect match for reselling. It's kind of odd that, but I was thinking, like all the people, like the bad guys in school and stuff like that, they would, how they would grow up and what job they'd be suited towards. Maybe a more practical job. Maybe I'm being stereotypical there, but or maybe like for me, I was thinking the other day actually as well that I didn't know what I wanted to do. Years ago, I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to be in an office. That's going to be my life. And I was really depressive about that when I was in school. And that's just the image I had of working life. You're in an office, and it's weird that my life is so different to that. And hopefully it will continue, and that I can get a house and I can support a family on my reselling. That'd be awesome, and it very well could be. Right, let's go into the chat again. I'll stop rambling. I ramble far too much. I use computer to list ads, but it tells me that if someone looks at my description, it may be tiny or unreadable. Ah, right. Yeah, due the reckon the hot weather has affected sales. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to touch on this a little bit. It's not been that bad for me. It's been fairly solid, to be honest. I mean, I've done my £100 pretty much every day. I think there's one day this week I did about 88, but then there's one day this week that I did, how much was it now? 200. It was 200 and something. I can't remember exactly, but it was 200 and something. There was one day I did 148. Last week was great because I did a couple of hundred on 2 days last week. To be honest, I'm really impressed with June. This year I am. I mean, I came into June thinking this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. And there's been a few days that have been a bit of a letdown, but I've kept listing. I've kept going. I've sent a shipment up to Amazon. And I mean, although I have had sort of something that constitutes a bit of time off, it's still been fairly okay. I don't know whether that's because I last sort of couple of weeks I've been trying to focus on listing a few more higher value items because my inventories have been when I say higher value, I mean like £50 plus. Like my inventories have been depleting of those higher value items, so kind of did that, and I got a few sales of higher value items. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not been bad at all. It's not been as bad as I thought. But I always think, like, this is just me. I don't know whether anyone else has this, but July is the big. That's the slow one. I don't know whether other people think like that, but for me, July, last couple of years, it's been, well, the last year definitely was, because obviously the year before that I'd only just started, so I can't really say much. But last year, definitely, it was a slow one for me. So it's July that gets you. And then last year, what happened? It was almost immediate, actually. After July, in August, picked right up again. And then it's fairly okay. September can be, but then October, November, December, as long as you're putting in the work, it can be all right. But I kind of like mapping it out like that. I kind of map it out like that in my mind. I say to myself, you put in the work, and then the sales will follow a trend in line with your work. And that's how I tell myself. So I always try and put in the work to do that. And then the sales will increase. No, I'm not cold. I just enjoy, I'm enjoying having a coat on today. I love wearing coats. Probably you can see from all the videos on my channel. And when it's sunny, I can't wear a coat. I do feel like, oh, I like my coat. I like having my coat on. I know it's a bit of a weird habit. God, is it hot where you are? Oh no, it's not. It's not that hot where we are. I mean, it's meant to be about 19 degrees today. So I mean, yesterday it was 29. So it's dropped by 10 degrees overnight. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in different places of the country, I suppose, will have different weather, but I never think of it like that. I always think that because we're living in such a fairly small country, to be honest, in terms of if you're comparing it to the US or anywhere else, I always think that the weather will be fairly consistent, across the country, but it's not like that, to my surprise. So yeah, but it isn't hot here. Question: I've been looking at a unit to buy to get stuff out of the house. I love working from home, but I'd love a dedicated space close to home to out it all. Would you like something like that yourself? There's units near. Well, there isn't a unit. It's kind of like a unit. It says unit on the front of it, but what I mean by it's not really a unit is the fact that it's not like a proper like climate control, not like loads of units in one area. It's just like one unit that basically is a shop front, but or could be turned into a shop front. And I've often thought about that, and that is literally 5-minute walk up the road. So it's kind of like I'm working from home anyway, because it's like 5 minutes up the road. But I don't know. I've just never really needed that, not yet. There will come a point in there will come a point in the next few years that I'm going to have to expand again. That's kind of part of this mystery project I keep talking about, although I've not talked about it for a while. But that's kind of part of that. Obviously, the antique cabinet, which may turn into an antique booth or may turn into a fleet of cabinets working for me. I don't know, but that's obviously going to be extra space for me as well, and obviously it can sell at the same time there, just like in a unit you've got your stuff listed so it can sell anyway. But yeah, I mean, it is part of the plan in terms of not necessarily getting somewhere that's close to home or a unit or anything like that, but expansion is one part of the plan, and I think it should be for everyone really who's taking a business seriously. Some sort of expansion, whether that's sales expansion, a physical expansion, I don't know, expanding their horizons in terms of knowledge. Just that expansion should be a common theme within anyone's business, who's taking it seriously. So I'm always looking to expand, whether it's actually physically in a physical space, I'm not sure, but I'm always looking to expand in some way, like expand my mind or something like that then helps me with my business. Hey guys, what did I miss? Not a lot. Buying a unit storage is much cheaper than renting, and you'll have an asset at the end of it. I suppose so. I've not really looked into it that much. It's true that you're going to have an asset, but it's whether that like upfront cost and stuff is worth it, and I don't know. I'd have to look into it and stuff. Have you now? This is something funny. Yeah, this is funny, Neil, because I've thought about this the last few days. Have you thought about setting up a Facebook page for your antique stuff? It's easy to set up and cheap. Yeah, I have thought about it now. Yeah, I'm not sure about antique stuff, or I'd probably, yeah, I think you're right. I'd probably do it with the antique stuff and separate. I kind of want to separate the antique stuff completely, but then it like from my main store, but then it goes against my philosophy of what I wanted to achieve in my business, which is to have like an everything under one roof store, and like just everything and anything, and very weird, eccentric items, a very weird, eccentric mix of items basically for sale. But yeah, I mean, you said that, yeah, you could put anything on it. Yeah, no, but I mean, I could put anything on it, but, and that would be fine, but I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of separating the antiques, or separating the toys and games and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, I've thought about it. I mean, I don't know about advertising. Have you done any advertising? I mean, it's something as you can probably see, I'm in deep thought about. I've been thinking about it the last few days. I have, but you know, it could be something that is really good for my business. But it just, I suppose, how I go about it. And once I've got that angle, then I'll know. But it could be something. Well, no, it will be something that will go hand in hand with the mystery project if I decide to do that. So it will be coming anyway. Like, if the mystery project happens and it's great, then the Facebook page will come along with that anyway. So that would be a part of it, as well as other online advertising methods and stuff. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it could be great. I think the Facebook page could be great. Hey, glad I managed to capture live again. Have I missed anything? Well, I think we've been going about half an hour now. Building up lots of followers at the moment, spending a bit on sponsored ads, but starting to get results. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would do the ads, because you kind of got to build it up, haven't you? Like you say, it's I mean, you can invite all your friends to like it, and that's what I'd probably do, and then you get a few likes and stuff from that. But you've got to think of the people who are going to buy from you. I mean, maybe one or two people might buy from you out of your friends, but it's a saturated market at the end of the day. And then you've got to branch out and do the ads. But it's a good start to invite your friends to like it. So that's what I'd do first. Then I'd make sure I'd build the page up like well first, in terms of good like cover photo and all that. And then yeah, I'd go ahead and do the advertising. So yeah, I could see it. I can definitely see it in my future. It's just whether I do it with my eBay business now, or whether I save it for a little bit. Or I mean, I could do it with my eBay business now and then just get another Facebook page, I suppose, at the time in a year or two when the mystery project happens properly. Planning for the future should be in resellers' thoughts. I started paying into a pension when I was 23. I hated losing the money each month, but looking back 17 years, I'm so glad I did it. Yeah, that's great. I'm thinking, my mum's saying to me, you should be putting some money away for savings. And I put a lot of money into stocks and shares because I keep saying to her, and I know this is like my youth coming through, my young person's attitude, like I know everything, all that sort of stuff. But I'm not trying to mean it like that. But I keep saying to her, you know, the stock market will go up more. I know it can go down a lot, and I understand that. But if I put my money in a savings account at like 2% interest for 10 years, you know, and I maybe put, I don't know, 5 grand in over a few years or something, I don't know. Then if I put that money in shares and then they go up maybe 8%, 6 or 8%, then oh my God, and I get dividends from that if I was to choose dividend stocks. If that works out, I know it's an if, and ifs are never good, but if that works out, then I'll have a lot more at the end of the 10 years, or it might even go up more than that. That's just like an average. I'm thinking about it, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've agreed with my mum. This is what I've agreed, and I'll tell you this quite honest, quite openly. I am gonna put 5 grand into shares. I've currently got about 1,700, 1,500, 1,700. Once I've got 5 grand into shares, agreed with my mum, because she's worried that the stock money I'll completely lose, and that's fair enough if she's worried about that, and I get that. So we had an adult discussion, and I said, well, I want to put money into shares, I do. So I'm going to continue to put money into shares each month, and when I get to this 5,000, all the money then I'm putting into shares will then go into a savings account for a few years, and then I will go back into shares again. So I'll alternate it, I'll alternate it. But the thing is, like, my grandparents have shares, and like other friends and stuff have them, and it's very tempting. It's kind of like shares are in some way they're like that evil gambling type side. And they are a bit more risky than just putting it into a savings account on some part, unless you go for like really safe companies. But I just like that. I'm just you know what I'm like. I'm very risky. I'm too risky. I'm too young. I need to give me another 20 years and I might mellow out a bit. My risk level will go down. But the moment, I mean, I am quite risky. I've got about 500 or 600 quid in Bitcoin as well as of last week. I spoke to David about it, but I didn't tell you guys. So I'm actually invested in Bitcoin because I cannot let that go up to 100k and not be in on that at the ground floor. Well, not the ground floor, but like early on. I mean, in 40 years' time, if it goes up to a crazy amount, and I've got kids or whatever, and I didn't put a little bit of money into Bitcoin all these years prior, and I've got gains of like 1,000% or more. I would have had gains of 1,000% or more. I'd be kicking myself in the future. So kind of had to do that. If it goes down, it goes down. That's fair enough. If it's like if the cryptocurrency completely goes out the window and all that, that's fine. I just can't. I don't want to regret anything. I really now, like at this age, I'm really thinking everything I do. I'm thinking, will I regret it if I don't do it? So that's the kind of outlook to life I'm having at the moment, and maybe I'll continue to have that outlook for a while. If I don't do it, will I regret it? If the answer is yes, I will regret it in 50 years' time, then I'm gonna do it because then I won't regret it. So yeah. Did I say low risk? I meant high risk. So was I talking about low risk on shares? Sorry, I meant shares are higher risk than putting it in the bank. Sorry, I messed up on that. Yeah, in the most part, shares are higher risk than putting it in a bank. Hence why you can get a higher return and stuff. But as I said, with the exception of maybe a few blue chip companies that are kind of a little bit more low risk, but I did mean high risk, more high risk retro. Yeah, anyway, I mined them myself, but the company I bought tech off never came through. Yeah, my friend Ryan mined. I don't know whether I said this in last week's episode, but yeah, he mined a load of himself back in 2009 when it first came out, and then he sold them all because he didn't think anything of them, and he didn't think there would be anything like they are now. But now the price is at like 2,150 for one Bitcoin, which is insane. And if he had loads of them, because that was back when it was pretty easy to mine them, and obviously him and his mate had like big, they had good computers. Ryan's always had like been into PCs, he's always had good computers, and he mined loads of them, and he would have been mega rich now if he had kept them. But he didn't, and at the time he was like 11 or 12, so he didn't really have the knowledge of a future insight, maybe thinking long term. So yeah, it was a bit of a shame. I don't know whether he Oh, I don't know whether I mentioned that in last week's video. That's what I was going to say. Anyway, I'll sign off in a minute because I did say this needs to be a bit shorter because of me doing this little bit of DIY, or as I like to call it, but it's not really. It's not really. It's just putting up a flat back flat pack bench. It's not really DIY, but I like to say that. Makes me sound big. It's too hard to mine now. I don't know. I did try doing the mining of the bitcoins years ago, but I didn't know what I was doing. What was it? You needed to be in these like little pool. Oh, that was it. Mining pools. And yeah, I didn't really get it. I didn't understand it like Ryan did, so I didn't do it. But yeah, it would have been cool if I did. If you had a mortgage to pay, that might take. Oh yeah, I know. I thought about that, Retro. Yeah. If I had a mortgage to pay, that might take some of the risk away. Yes, it would. It definitely would. It would chill me to the core, and I'd be really, really careful with the money I spend on the business. That's kind of why I want to get it to a point in the next year or two, where it's like up. I mean, it is now. I mean, I'm really happy with where my business is now. But if I could get it further than that, then it means that when I've got those financial pressures, big financial pressures in a few years, it'll mean that I've kind of got a really strong business already. So that takes some of the pressure on. And then obviously I have a partner, wife, whatever. If they have an income or a steady income or whatever to bring to the table, that's just extra, to cover the bills and for her to have fun or whatever, So it's great, and I just need to get if I could get it like even more, then because I mean I do think to myself, well, what if I don't get a partner? What if I don't get a wife? What if I am on my own? Then I need to get two incomes, because to get a house these days, you basically need two incomes. So I would need to have a high income anyway, regardless. Well, not regardless of whether I have a partner or not, but if I didn't have a partner or a wife, then it means that I would need to have that higher income to actually get onto the housing market. So yeah, I mean, I think I put too much pressure on myself in the fact that I'm always looking 10 years down the road, and I'm always thinking, well, I need to do this and I need to get it to a serious level, so that then I can completely look after my family and my kids. But they don't even exist yet, and that's how much pressure I put on myself. I put financial pressure on myself that doesn't even exist and that might never exist. I mean, I'd love kids, I'd love a wife, that sort of stuff, but I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, I do kind of put just too much pressure on myself. As then you can rent out the house. I'm too old, I have no idea. I'd use that 5k for a deposit on a house and get on the ladder 5k deposit. What, towards a deposit? You need a lot more than that for a house deposit these days. Not, yeah, because I want a nice one. I mean, I'm not having like a little flat or something like that. I want like a house like this, which is, a fair amount of money. So, and then you've got your 10% to put down. So you're looking a lot more than $5,000 to put down. That's why I'm saying you need two incomes, because when I'm going to buy a house, I'm not going to buy one that's going to last me 2 years. I'm not going to buy one that's going to last me 5 years throughout my bachelor days or whatever it is. I'm going to buy one with children in mind, with family in mind, in 10 years time. So again, that's what I'm thinking, like long-term thinking. So therefore I'd need one with, maybe three bedrooms I need, because I think this one's 3 bedroom, because I have to think, like, not worst case, because that's the wrong word completely, but I mean, I have to think, how many children am I going to stop at? And for me, that's going to be 2. I probably wouldn't have more than 2. So then 2 bedrooms, hopefully a girl and a boy, but obviously I don't know. Hopefully a girl and a boy, and then our room. So yeah. Although I was thinking that I might have twin beds because apparently that improves your connection to some degree if you sleeping in the same bed. I don't know. I'm sure I've heard of some article or something say that if you sleep in twin beds, away from your spouse, partner, wife, that sort of stuff, it actually brings you closer together, which is odd because you're separated by the twin beds. But yeah, I do a lot of research into this stuff because I'm really scared when I get to like my 40s or my 50s that me and my wife are going to lose touch a little bit and argue quite a lot. So I've done quite extensive research in what I need to do in my 40s and 50s to be able to stop the arguing. And I'm not going to go into what those things are because they're a little bit I don't know how to say it. Just a little bit of the S nature. Let's just say that, the S nature. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I think, see what I mean? I just think too much. I think too much. There you go. That's what I'm meaning. Do it yourself lifestyle, something along those lines. Not necessarily that one. I don't think I'll ever need that one. Not to get big-headed, but I don't think I will. But no, things along those lines to spice things up a bit. Before you get a wife, mate, you need a girlfriend. So you need to get active in that area. I know. I like fantasizing. I think I'm more of a fantasist than anything, really. Funny thing was actually yesterday, before I go, I know, I'm sorry, I keep saying I'm gonna go and I don't. Yesterday, I was in the garden actually doing some steps because I do my 10,000 steps a day, and it's been killer. It's been killer with this weather to do 10,000. So I end up having at the end of the day about 8 o'clock when it's cooled down. I end up just walking around the edges of the garden about 100 times to get up to my 10,000. But I was doing that and I was thinking about all these possibilities, all these different things, and I thought to myself, maybe writing might be good for me. Maybe like science fiction writing might be a good thing for me. Whether that's a hobby, whether it's a full-blown career at some point in my life, I don't know. I don't know. But I was thinking all this stuff in my mind, all these different imagination and all these different things that I have. I think I need to channel them into something, and I think writing might be a good thing, but I'm not very good at English. That's the problem. Maybe I need a ghostwriter and I just tell them exactly what my stories are and just reel it off, and then they do the writing for me because I'm not good with grammar and stuff like that. I'm okay, I'm not terrible, but I'm not A-star student or anything like that. So yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I have some spiky Dr. Martens for sale. Investment for future marriage. I'll do you. No, that's you. No, that's not not quite my style. No way. No. Maybe like the full body leather play suit or something. I could do that, but not me wearing it. But I couldn't do the spiky Dr. Martens. No. But ads. I have a dragon speak. I have dragon speak. It's good for that. Oh, what's that? Dragon speak. Dragon speak. One sec. Dragon speak. Oh, voice recognition software. Ooh. So what does that do? Does that is it like a dictaphone? Don't Google that. Don't Google that. For writing. Ah. Oh, why are you a writer as well? As a eBayer or an Amazoner? Speech recognition software. Well, no, you said don't Google it, but nothing naughty's come up, so that's okay. Yeah, so he did. Yeah, I did. I Googled that even before he could say don't Google it. Yes. Oh, I might have a look at that then. I just think there's so many stories I can make up. You know, I can literally just make up a like a character in my mind right now, and just picture it, you know, really, really vividly. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something I need to do to channel that creative side, you know, because I mean, reselling is creative, and you can definitely be creative with reselling, but I think that writing or that sort of thing might really channel my energies, you know, so in that sort of way. I don't know. Anyway, and then you could actually use the writing to create another business that gives you more money. So yeah, there's always a way back to capitalism. So I could literally like write a few books, maybe set up a new business for that you know business. A new business for that business a new business for that separate business venture, and then yeah, do that, sell it on Amazon or something, Amazon ebook or something. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. I've not even wrote one word yet. You're on 1.5k subs now, dude. Your life? No, it hasn't. Yeah, I don't care if I'm on 50,000 subscribers. I'll hopefully always be the same. Hopefully. As I say that now, I don't know when if you get to 50,000 subs, you don't know, you know, hopefully you'd be the same, but, or 100,000 or a million, you don't know. I mean, some of these people who are on a million, I do feel like, you know, you go back, maybe watch the first videos, I suspect that they're going to be a lot more genuine in their first, very, very early videos, than they would be in there when we've got a million subs, because I think people do kind of, I think they may change, you know, the more and more subscribers you get. Like, if you're on, you know, 100,000, a million, that sort of area, I think you may end up changing a little bit. And it's very hard to, and I'm sure there's people who stay genuine and that are on millions of subscribers or whatever, but I think it is hard to do that. I think it really is, especially if you're making a lot of money from YouTube and stuff. I think it's quite tempting to get a bit big-headed with it and stuff like that, but I don't know. Yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. I've got to do this little bit of DIY. And yeah, thank you for joining me, guys. I know it was, oh no, see that? I say I don't want it to be that long, and it's now an hour long. Oh, and I had my haircut. I don't know whether I showed you that. I don't think I did, but I had my haircut. Nice, innit? Nice, that. It's nice. So yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. I'll be back with you with another video very shortly. What was I gonna do? Trying to think of a video idea that I could do. I know I need to do a sales update. That's been on the agenda for about 8 weeks now, and I just still haven't done it. So I definitely need to do that at some point. But there's, I was thinking there could be another couple of, I need to think of another couple of video ideas. But yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching. If you did like it, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. And yeah, I'll be back very soon. So see you very soon, guys.